What's up YouTube? It's your boy Nasher. Welcome back to the channel. Now before we get into this week's very odd episode of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, guys, we are 25 subs away from 200. We are drawing closer and closer to the goal of 200 subs. And as I have said in previous videos, if this channel does get to 200 subs, I will open up this Korean Strike of Neo's booster box in its entirety on the channel. As you guys can tell, it is completely taped under the right light. There it is. You can tell it is taped on the hopes to potentially pull the so-called forbidden Yu-Gi-Oh card, Elemental Hero Air Neos. Is it really forbidden? I think I'll let you guys be the judge of that. If this if this channel gets to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners over at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. On the hopes of it to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, excuse me, a piece of Exodia, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed. The possibilities are out there. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box that I also got from my partners at Collector Store in its entirety on the channel, on the hopes to potentially pull my second ever Collector's Rare. Because if you guys missed out on my Genesis Impact box opening, I pulled this. A Collector's Rare Beat Cop from the Underworld. It is absolutely beautiful. Can never go wrong with a gorgeous Collector's Rare. Absolutely incredible. I am going to be getting this graded at some point. I don't know when exactly, but I will be getting it graded at someday soon. So if you guys want to see those boxes get opened, maybe you guys want maybe you guys want future episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue. Maybe you guys want future episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. Deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, maybe even some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys have not done so already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below. And be sure to also do not forget, if you guys want to send me fan mail and you guys want me to open it up on the channel, all the info will be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which is this: what would you consider to be the worst archetype in Yu-Gi-Oh's history? Let me know down in the comments below, because for this week's episode, I'm going to be talking about why Konami has been printing new support cards for some of the worst archetypes in the game. I don't know how I'll be able to word it, but I am going to try. So you guys are probably wondering what's going on. Well, we found out recently that Konami, with the brand new core booster set coming out later this year, Age of Overlord, we're going to be getting some brand new Octoadic support and some brand new Watt support. Now, don't get me wrong, Watt had a huge showing when the archetype was first announced, you know, right around like the 5Ds era. And then over time, you know, Watts, you know, they did get a couple of YCS tops over time, but that right there is where excuse me. That right there is where the battle lines get drawn, because while it is true that people did play Watts and other archetypes when they were first released, how can I explain it? They didn't get a first place win or anything like that. All they got was tops. And once people realized how bad the decks were, Konami was like, all right, you know what? We'll just make more cards for that particular archetype, and it didn't really work out so well. It didn't work out so well as the support cards just would get worse and worse and worse and worse until like people started to realize, Konami is not even trying, as what some people would say. One thing that I've learned as well is the fact that with an archetype like Watt, with an archetype like Ogdowatic, those archetypes, they're somewhat okay. They have they're okay archetypes, but they have their drawbacks, especially with the Watt archetype. And I'll showcase to you guys what I'm talking about here on Nexus. Give me a second. Let me put in my info, email, password. There we go. We'll go deck, and we'll choose a random one. We'll go this one. This random runic deck that I added to my list of different decks. And we'll go Watt. Okay, so okay, so a lot of these different Watt cards have some very interesting effects. Starting with Watt Giraffe. Watt Giraffe's effect says that this card can attack your opponent directly, and if it inflicts battle damage to your opponent by a direct attack, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the turn. It's an okay effect as long as it doesn't get impermed. If it were to get impermed, the card just basically sucks. Watt Pheasant, I believe they all have the effect that it can attack your opponent directly. I think Giraffe, Pheasant, and Cobra have that same effect. And when it does deal damage, Giraffe prevents your opponent from activating cards or effects until the end of the turn. Pheasant's effect says that you're allowed to select one face-up monster on the field and remove it from play. Yeah. Until the end phase of the turn. So it's sort of like a Cyphering Lord Omega effect, but on a 4-star body. Watt Cobra's effect says that you can Rhoda out a Watt monster from your deck to your hand. So it's sort of like a Stratos, I guess you could say. And then Watt Woodpecker says that this card can attack twice during each battle phase, and any monster that battles with this card cannot change its battle position. So it's sort of like a shadow spell, I guess. And then Watt Squirrel has the same effect as Woodpecker, but it also says that if this card battles, negate the effects of the monster it battled after damage calculation, including in the graveyard. Then you got cards like Watt Kiwi, which says that it can basically protect excuse me. Basically, Watt Kiwi can protect all of your Watt monsters from being destroyed by battle while they're attacking. Then you got Barracks, which says that that when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent by a direct attack, discard a random card from your opponent's hand. This is basically confiscation is all it is, which is okay. Again, I'm just like showing off some of these effects, and the crazy thing about this archetype is that you literally need to have ways to go into more of your Watt monsters to go full combo. And the sad part is that there isn't another like archetype in the meta that can do such thing. But when you look at a set like when you look at an archetype like Ogdoadic, they all have a if effect, meaning meaning it could miss timing, but it just depends on how you play your cards right. It depends on you playing your cards right. If you don't play your cards right, then it'll miss timing, which is a bit unfortunate. But I will say this. Both, again, as I talked about, both the Ogdoadic and the Watts are getting new support. Both of which I will talk about on the channel in the next week or so. So make sure you guys get ready for that. But there's even also other archetypes that have been getting support over the years. And they're just like so bad. The cards are like so bad. Like Gaia the Dragon Champion. You know, we found out. You know when Rise of the Duelists came out, we found out that it's gonna become a fucking archetype, in which I talked about all the cards that were in the set, plus those new cards. The cards suck. There's no excuse me. There's no like if you were to build a deck that featured that archetype, there would be no synergy, and the deck would just force you to break, you know? What else has been getting support? Salmongrades. I know that Salmongrades, when the structure that came out, the deck just dominated the meta for almost an entire year. Almost a year. Because of the fact that we finally got the cards that we had been missing for the deck, but now with the new support that we're getting in Legendary Duelist Soul Burning Volcano, which is a pretty good set, I'll admit. You guys get it. It's a bit of a weird one. I'll say that. But I will say this. Another as well. It even dawned on me as well. Another archetype that caught my eye. That we did we get support for? Yeah. That we recently got new support for, and that is Yanagi's cards. Yeah, Yanagi from 5Ds. We got his cards. What was it, a couple of years ago? What was it? Battles of Legend Armageddon, I want to say. And the cards, I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, yeah, they do have some potential, but the cards just suck. The cards suck. You would literally need to run those cards with fucking fucking Chronomaly or something like that, because of the fact that we did get practically got all the cards for Yanagi's deck. The problem is that the cards need to have synergy with a archetype, and the only archetype that I can think of that might work with these cards are literally Konami. And Konami, we got support for them within the last like couple of years or so. The cards are okay, but once you start playing the deck, you realize that the cards suck. So why is it? So why is Konami printing cards, support cards for some of the worst archetypes in the game? The answer is simple. They want players to play these bad decks to an extent where those decks have the potential to become a top tier meta. I'm not talking a tier 1. I'm talking tier 0 deck. Like on the same level as Kashtira or as Runix or whatever. That's what they're trying to do. But a lot of these different archetypes, they're not going to be meta. A lot of these decks, Watts, Yanagi's deck, they will never be meta. Let's be real. Even with the new support for Watts and for the Ogdoadic archetype, they will never be meta. Watts will never be as good as they were 10, 14, 15 years ago. 15 years ago, it will never be as good as it was back in the day. It will never. And even with the new support, it's just not worth it. So I will say this to close out this episode. I will say this: it doesn't matter what support, what archetypes Konami prints new cards for. It doesn't matter if it's not Kashtira, if it's not Runic, if it's not, what's that one? Tearlament. If it's not any of those three, or if it's not any of the other archetypes that became like a tier 0 deck within the last like couple years or so, the cards are just gonna suck ass. Dark, Blue Eyes, Red Eyes, Dark Visions, those archetypes, that's one thing. That's one thing mainly used for Playground, Yu-Gi-Oh, and whatnot. Why could be used for the same thing, but again, as we've seen, What was a meta deck. Nowadays, mostly used for backyard Yu-Gi-Oh. So I don't know. It's a bit of an interesting one. Don't know if the What deck will make its way back into the meta. I don't even know if the Ogdoadic archetype will make its way into the meta. But I do apologize, guys, if this was a bit of an odd episode. I wanted to bring this up simply because of the fact that it's been weighing down on me for the last like couple weeks. Because we've gotten new support cards for some of the worst archetypes in the game, including, crazy enough, Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast, which is an odd one. It's an odd one, people. It's an odd one. But again, guys, that brings me to the question of the day, which is this: what would you consider to be the worst archetype in Yu-Gi-Oh's history? Let me know down in the comments below, and that will do it for this week's episode of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.